Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I'm delighted to give you an opportunity to catch your breath. Madam President, I move the majority ought to pass report and wish to speak to my motion.
The Senator from Cumberland, Senator Bliss, moves acceptance of the majority ought to pass report. The Senator may proceed.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, men and women of the Senate, I would first like to take a moment to congratulate our colleagues from the State Senate of the great state of New Hampshire to our west, who yesterday passed a civil marriage bill and sent it back to their House, which has already passed a similar bill. When tradesmiths, farmers, and clergy sailed west on boats from Europe with their families in the early 1600s, they sought to leave behind the oppression in favor of opportunity and freedom. A century and a half later, this vision was recorded in a document, the Declaration of Independence, bringing us the idea captured in the phrase, "All men are created equal." Though imperfectly gender-specific, no governing body had ever declared this statement before. On November 4th of last year, we saw our founders' vision affirmed in the first election of an African American to the highest office in this land. But on the same day, that founders' vision fell short in the passage of a law in California that withdrew the right of marriage from loving, consenting adults of the same sex. Last July, my partner of 14 years and I took our 3 kids to California, to my nephew's bar mitzvah. While we were there, we visited the Ventura County Courthouse and got married. Our children, ages 6, 9, and 12 at the time, were our witnesses. Now that California has withdrawn the right for gay people to marry, and Maine has not yet dealt with this law, my partner and I are once again just partners. This is not my problem. This is not my partner's problem. This is a problem that affects everyone. When a significant percentage of the population faces artificial hurdles in achieving their full potential to contribute to society, it works to hold the whole country back at a time when it faces increasing global competition and challenges to its leadership. This is true for our country. This is true for our state. There are, to my knowledge, 3 primary reasons that gay and lesbian marriage equality has not been fully supported in the past. First, family. Some believe that gay marriage weakens families. In opposing the legalization of gay marriage in California in 2008, reportedly more than $30 million were spent. If the money spent to oppose gay marriage had instead been contributed to family counseling services, it could have provided monthly counseling services to more than 25,000 families at risk for a year if the average price of a marriage counselor were $100 an hour. Strong families provide stability and resources for children to become leaders for tomorrow. Strong families are extremely important. But denying equality to gays is not the answer. If the goal of opponents really is strong families, then opposing gay marriage is a misallocation of resources. We should instead be working together and putting resources towards social programs and counseling services that will support and strengthen families. All families. Gay families, straight families, single mother families, single father families, step-parent families, grandparent-based families, all families. In addition, there are more than 1 million American children who don't have any homes at all, who don't regularly attend school or receive proper health care, and who would be better able to develop into productive members of society if they had homes, even if those homes are a little bit non-traditional. Nature. Some believe that homosexuality is unnatural. Around the world, in independent populations, researchers have found a substantially consistent percentage of the population to be same-sex oriented. This is not a phenomenon peculiar to Maine or peculiar to the United States. And over time, gay men and lesbians have been among those who have had the most profound impact on humanity. From Socrates to Alexander the Great to Shakespeare, opposing gays based on nature is like opposing the wind or the sun. You can put up walls, but you would be better off putting up wind turbines or solar panels. 3, religion. Some oppose homosexuality based on religion. For a man to lie with another man as he would a woman is toeva, Leviticus 20:13, where toeva is commonly translated as abomination or sin. In that same passage, it's also declared toeva to eat shrimp, or more to the point here in Maine, lobster. It literally translates as against ritual. At the time the Bible was written, people needed to reproduce to strengthen their community. We're also told that to touch pigskin makes one unclean, that a father may sell his daughter into slavery, that a person should be put to death for working on the Sabbath. And Sabbath is literally translated as Saturday. Next time you're watching football on a Sunday, ask yourself if, on moral grounds, you should be supporting people who touch pigskin. Leviticus 11:8. If you happen to be someone's daughter, next time you think to oppose your father's wishes, ask yourself, what would a fair price for me be? Exodus 21:7. If you answer a work-related email on your BlackBerry on the Sabbath, ask yourself if law enforcement officials should be legally obligated to stone you to death. Leviticus 23:3. Henry David Thoreau once wrote, "I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of man to elevate his life through a conscious endeavor. If there is anything that history has shown, it is that we can progress, that humanity can progress." I ask you today to make that conscious endeavor, to make that phrase in the Declaration of Independence come alive here in Maine, and to join with me in voting ought to pass on Senator Damon's civil marriage bill. Thank you, Madam President.